Hello there, and welcome to this brief presentation on DevSecOps. My name is Jeffrey Day, and in this video, I will cover a high-level overview of DevSecOps and its roots in modern software engineering. To help put everything in context, I will start by taking you through a timeline of the changes in software engineering, from the inception of the waterfall method to today. Then I'll dive in to the problems and solutions that occurred over time, starting with the siloing effect of the waterfall method to brief coverage of Agile, and then into DevOps, and finally DevSecOps. I will close with a summary of benefits of DevSecOps and a review of the timeline that shows the journey software companies have undergone to achieve dramatic improvements in the way we design, develop, and deliver software to customers today. According to a Google Trend search, the term DevSecOps began to emerge as a concept in the later part of 2015. However, the road to establishing the coordination and flow idealized by the DevSecOps concept was quite lengthy. Recall from the Virginia Tech course material that the waterfall method was originally published in 1970 as a way to formalize and structure the software engineering process. Since then, many attempts have been made by software engineers, program managers, and executives around the world to improve upon the software engineering process. Moving through the timeline, the Rational Unified process, established in 1996, attempted to build upon the previous models by bringing an iterative approach to the software development lifecycle. The Rational Unified process was initially successful, but there were still some concerns with the rigid requirements of the methodology. The next significant development on this timeline occurred in 2005 when a group of software developers met at a ski resort in Utah to discuss solutions to process problems of the day. Their efforts resulted in the development of the Agile Manifesto and eventually culminated in a 2011 paper released by the Agile Alliance titled Guide to Agile Practices. Agile was designed to be a lightweight framework that emphasized flexibility and working code over rigid processes and documentation. While so much change was occurring in the software engineering industry from a process perspective, other problems in the development, deployment, and maintenance of software were beginning to emerge. Delay and quality issues became apparent due to the gap between software developers and operations staff, such as the system administrators and other IT folks that supported the deployed application. Sometime between 2007 and 2008, DevOps emerged as a leading solution to resolve that problem, but more on that later. Finally, DevSecOps begins to come on scene as the next improvement to software engineering. As you will see shortly, each step along the journey was important to improving the way industry provides quality software to customers. Prior to DevOps, teams worked in silos. Each team had their own set of responsibilities and lacked perspective on the challenges other teams in the organization were attempting to overcome. For example, the development team would not be aware of the problems the quality assurance and operations teams were facing to fix and support the software in the field. Likewise, the operations teams had little understanding of the purpose and value of the software they were supporting. The result was inefficiencies, counterproductive tension, and accusations when something didn't work. The Agile software development methodology helped to increase the velocity software was developed and released. One result of the increased velocity was an emphasis on the need for a homogeneous development test and release process. So what is DevOps? DevOps, at its core, is the cultural shift toward the improvement of communication and integration between business units within software development companies. This improvement was achieved by increasing collaboration and process automation. It is the conceptual child of Agile software development. The result of DevOps implementation was a streamlined release process. Many benefits were realized with the transition to a DevOps process. As shown on the slide, the first benefit was a faster time to market. Teams that exhibited the DevOps culture were able to release new products to customers faster. This also translated to the second benefit, which is the improvement of deployment frequency. This resulted in faster bug fix releases, improved recovery, and lower failure rates. However, something was still missing, another piece of the puzzle that needed to be included. Take a few moments to consider the process identified in the previous slide and see if you can find some high-level areas for improvement. I'll give you 10 seconds to consider. Starting now. If you guessed security, then you'd be right. Many other improvements from tools and test coverage options are also good options, but the biggest, most sweeping improvement is the inclusion of security in the DevOps process. This incorporation of security into the existing process is known as DevSecOps. Recall the silo problem from slide 4. Well, as the process for developing, building, testing, and packaging software releases continued to improve, a new silo began to emerge. That silo was security. Security was not included from the outset of the planning and development of new software releases. Another issue on the side of security was one of automation. The other phases and teams within the DevOps pipeline had developed tooling and cultures around accelerating releases and automating anything and everything possible. Security teams, on the other hand, lagged behind this transition. Often, a negative aura around security would develop for slower pace or for delaying releases with security concerns. The root cause of the problem was the lack of inclusion of security early and often in the development process. In a DevOps pipeline, the focus is on the coordination and collaboration of the development and operations team, with emphasis on application delivery. This is illustrated by the diagram on the left. However, in a DevSecOps pipeline, security is provided an equal stake in the process, as illustrated by the diagram on the right. One possible representation of the integration of security into the release pipeline is represented on this slide. Note the multiple points where security appears. This does not mean the security should only participate at these points, but rather emphasize security control points where scans and tests are conducted by the security team. The idea behind having these security checkpoints, if you will, is that the other teams do not have to wait until the very end of the release process to know if a security fix is required before the software can be delivered to the customer. So, say a major problem is identified in software at the security point just past code. That means the security team can immediately and automatically kick back or alert the development team to the problem. This prevents the software from matriculating through the pipeline, only to identify a delivery stopping problem at the end. The process of building, testing, maintaining, and delivering software is continuous. This slide is depicting an image that illustrates the continuous nature of DevSecOps. This looping mechanism provides an endless stream of data representing the performance of the software in the wild for all participants in the software engineering process. Note how, like a glove, security is emphasized at all points. Remember the problem security was facing regarding automation and culture? Many solutions now exist to resolve that problem and support security in the DevSecOps pipeline. In fact, hundreds of tools, both open source and commercial, are now available. Take a few moments to review the slide. Have you had an opportunity to work with any of these tools in your career? Or perhaps you have experience with DevOps and notice an awesome tool is missing. I'll give a few seconds to take a look, beginning now. As to the benefits of transitioning to DevSecOps, all of the benefits of DevOps still apply. However, software that undergoes the consistent and rigorous security reviews is much more reliable, rugged, and secure. That last point, more secure, is especially important when considering the impact of high-profile data breaches in recent times. No software vendor wants to be the one responsible for allowing a gap in security that potentially impacts millions of customers. In closing, the software engineering process has undergone significant changes in recent years, from the waterfall method to agile software development, and finally to DevSecOps. Each milestone has provided an incremental improvement to the process. The industry continues to change dramatically as part of the current DevSecOps push, and it is an exciting time to be a member of the software development community. That's it for this presentation, folks. I hope this has inspired you to consider security more in your own environments or understand more the current changes in the software industry. Thanks for watching and have a great day.